So I don't know if you all remember when I dropped the video. Had to been like a year ago. Um, so basically, God is reminding me of a dream that I had when I was entering into school, right? And now God is reminding me that you actually completed school. All right. So when I was first entering into school, it was decisions that needed to be made. It was me leaving people behind, leaving things behind, leaving the satisfaction of hell, right, behind, because it can only satisfy you temporarily, right? So there were friends, there were family members that I saw. We were all at this like warehouse factory place, and I was trying to convince them to leave so that we can go find the tree of life, because something had told me to go find the tree of life because there was no food there for us to eat. So now God is reminding me that we have actually succeeded in finding and making it to the tree of life, all right? You had to leave some friends behind. You had to leave some old habits behind, okay? It was some things that you couldn't do, because then you wasn't going to be able to be focused on what it is God needed you to do. So yeah, there could have been a lot of friends and family members that God exposed their hearts or exposed to you what they actually care about, because maybe this is people that you thought that they will want to follow your lead, or they will want to go where you're telling them to go, but they actually was like very adamant about staying where they want to stay, and not actually following you to the tree of life. Okay, so this could be actually people that you know in your life that you had to separate from because they really didn't want to change. They didn't want to grow. They didn't want to heal. They did not want to complete the test so that they can actually make it to the next level. All right. But you did. Okay. You have completed the test. You have figured out that hell can only satisfy you but so much. Okay. The enemy cannot really fulfill your soul. Like, you're gonna always be wanting more. You're always gonna feel like you're not satisfied when you don't have God in you, right? So this is some things that you had to learn while you were in this school, while you were in this class, is that, God is everywhere. God is all over. God is watching everything that you're doing. That, everything, your work and your labor is not in vain. God sees it. And it's also important to be a light to others. That's also what I'm getting. Like, in the school, you were teaching others, you were helping others, you were enlightening others on God, and just having a good relationship with themselves. I'm going to drop another video on this because I feel like it's so important. Like, people always pushing religion, 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 but they need to push self-awareness. They need to push therapy, because when you're self-aware, then you won't be making the same mistakes, or you won't be putting people in situations, because you're actually aware of yourself and other people, So everyone is always trying to push God or push religion on folks. And it's like, no, they need to get to know themselves. They need to stop lying to themselves. They need to know themselves authentically before God can even get to know them. A lot of you can't connect with God. You don't understand God. You don't understand how he works, how he connects, how he speaks, because you have not even understood yourself. You don't even understand yourself. You can't even tell when yourself is telling you to go somewhere or not go somewhere, to do something or not do something. Your intuition has been blinded. Okay, your intuition has been covered with dirt because of the people that you've been surrounding yourself with, and it's been taking you further and further away from yourself, right? Which means you're further and further away from God. So a lot of people are always pushing religion and stuff, but I feel like we need to push more of self-help, self-work, self-wellness, self-awareness, self-healing, because then God can come in. If we're not being truthful with ourselves, God cannot come in. Okay, if our ego is too bright and too light and is overpowering everything else, God cannot come in. So less about religion and God, and more about just being a true human that is authentically them. Not trying to live up to a certain facade or image or stuff like that. So that's probably going to be another video, another day, another time, y'all. But anywho, I'm getting that you have completed this test. Okay, you have completed going to the next level because you have actually figured it out. You have actually you remember what life is really about, okay? Some of your friends and family, they got distracted by what the enemy was offering them for a short period of time, but it wasn't enough to actually sustain them forever. But some of them thought that it was like, if it glitters, it's gold. So they thought that this was gold. They thought that they found it. They thought that everything was cool. But something about you, you knew that there was something more. You knew that this couldn't have been it. You knew that God would never just give you something and not be able to sustain it. Like God is not going to give you happiness and then you're fighting all your life to try to sustain the happiness. That's only when it's not given by God, where you have to prove yourself, where you have to work extra hard. You know what I'm saying? When you're somewhere that God needs you to be, you can just thrive in that place just by simply being you. You won't have to like overwork yourself or go crazy stressing yourself out trying to prove to folks that you're doing this, you're doing that, and that's the kind of space that you were in the past. Okay, that's the kind of test that you were put on to see if you're going to actually examine what's going on and realize that you don't have to deal with this, or there's an easier way, there's a better way, even though it may not seem easy right then and there. But once you figure this out, it will be easy for the rest of your life. It's one of those things like God coming inside of you and his spirit overtaking your flesh. It may not seem like an easy process in the beginning because you have to leave things behind. You have to leave people behind. You have to leave mindsets behind. You have to leave the ego behind, right? But as soon as you do these things, life will begin to get more easy for you, as you're moving forward. So the enemy, the devil, things are given to you more easier right off rip. But you have to work harder to sustain those things because God did not give it to you. As opposed to God, it may be harder for you to actually catch this thing, for you to actually receive this thing, because God needs to know that you're worthy of this. God needs to know that you know how to protect or care for this, right? But as soon as you show that you're worthy of this, as soon as you show that you can actually protect and hold this, right? God is going to make it easier for your life, right? You're going to be able to easily do things and create and live the life that you need to live. But it may not be easy to get in there in the beginning, as opposed to the enemy. It's easy to get it there in the beginning, but your life will be dragging. It'll be hard. It'll be weight all on your shoulders because you don't actually have God's protection. You don't actually have God's help, right? So I hope that y'all understand that. Okay, so this message is definitely for someone who has been in a storm. Okay, when it came to releasing old habits. Okay, God needed you to become a new person. Okay, you could have some addictions or substances, things that you needed to let go of, or things that you just needed to take control of, okay, so that your judgment wasn't cloudy, all right, or just people that you had around you in your space that you needed to take control of, okay, because maybe they just was going to take you down the wrong path, or maybe they were going to make things harder for you when God already had an easier life set out for you, but you just needed to get through the hard part, which was accepting God into your life and understanding that if you're having God in your life, there are some standards that you're going to have to live by. Yes, you have to be bougie to have God in your life. Yes, you can't hang around the same folks that you did maybe in the past. Yes, you can't go around the same environments and do the same shit you used to do in the past. No, it's going to be standards. Yes, there is. So it is going to feel like it's a bit harder to get into the God and Holy Club, all right? But I promise you, once you cross over and you get there, life will be at bliss. So right now, someone has entered into the tree of life. Someone has officially walked over to the tree of life, okay? Now things are about to be given to you so much easier, okay? Now it's going to feel like you never have to go hungry, okay? Food and fruit will be provided to you, okay? Everything that you need will be provided to you. You won't have to fight as hard to get anything. Blessings will just fall down from you, okay? Opportunities will just fall down to you, okay? It's because you've already gone through the hard part of figuring out, do I want to live a life of holiness, or do I want to live a life that I'm already used to? Do I want to stay in hell, or do I know that I can make it out into heaven, okay? Am I afraid to leave this family member behind, or do I understand that this is my soul and I need to save myself, okay? Some people have gone through the transition of realizing that I need to just save myself. God is trying to get me to save myself, not nobody else, because I can't help nobody. I can't save nobody else if I'm not safe, myself. You know how flight attendants tell you, listen, if it ever was an evacuation, make sure that you put your oxygen mask on first before you can save anybody else. How can you help anybody else if you're not helped? You get what I'm saying? So you're learning that you have to go and get deep healing within God so that you're able to heal his people. You're able to heal the world, okay? And someone has been doing a great job of this. Someone is about to reap all the rewards, okay? Because you have sown a lot. You have put so much out into the universe that is going to be returned back to you, okay? This is the difference between God and the devil. God is going to give you back everything, even things that you wasn't even expecting to get back, even things that you never even thought that you would get back, you know. Excuse me, because maybe you just was doing these things because you felt like this is just part of your assignment, not realizing that God is going to give you a return on these things because you went above and beyond, because you actually cared about it. All right. You didn't just do it just to do it. You actually cared about what you were doing. And this is why God is going to bless you. Okay. I'm getting that someone has walked into the umbrella of blessings. Okay. The tree of life. You have sat officially under the tree of life. You have made your way to the tree of life. Okay. You understand what life is about. You understand what makes you wealthy, what makes you rich, okay, what gives you true peace and happiness. All right, you have understood something about life. Okay, God has opened up your mind about life. Okay, what matters the most. Okay, you could have been someone that was about materials. You could have been someone that was egotistical. It could have been so many things that you were attached to, and God just reminded you of what's really important about life. You could have been someone that wanted this and wanted that, and now you're understanding just the benefits of being able to go outside and pick a mango from the tree, or pick some grapes from the vine, okay, or pick an apple from the tree, or some strawberries. You're understanding the fundamentals of life. You're understanding the process, okay? You're understanding why God does things the way that he does things. You're understanding what's most important. You're understanding how to heal yourself, how to heal your body, how to heal other people's bodies with the things that God has already provided us with, okay? Sometimes we get blinded because we have all this technology and all these things, this material things that man have made. But God has reminded you of what he has already given us that can actually save us, that can actually help us. And you have definitely open up your eyes to what it truly is and have made your way down to the tree of life. Okay, I'm getting that you had to leave some people behind, people that you grew up with, okay, who did not want to follow, who were too distracted with what the enemy was giving to them, that was just satisfying their soul just that one day, because their soul is gone. You get what I'm saying? They don't have no good healing in their soul and their heart because they fell for the trap. Okay, they fell for the trick. You knew something was up. You knew that this wasn't it. All right. In that dream, it was like you were trying to persuade your friends and family, hey, let's go to the tree of life. We need to leave from here. Let's go. Let's go. And some of them were literally saying, no, I'm okay. I'm going to stay here. No, I like it here. This is a vibe. Being distracted by the people that was there. Being distracted, but not realizing that they were all in hell. Not realizing that the people that you're excited to see is in hell just like you. The people that you're happy to see is literally fighting demons just like you. The people that you're happy to see is literally confused and they forgot what really matters in life. But these people were so happy and consumed by what they're seeing, and instead you were consumed by what your spirit was telling you. You're feeling, you wasn't feeling right. Okay, you were outgrowing this environment. You knew something wasn't right. Your spirit was it wasn't aligned. Okay, you felt like your spirit was out of alignment because of where you was at, your environment, and you were trying to persuade people to get out of this. You were trying to persuade people, hey, there's even better than this. Hey, we have to go this way. Let's do this way. And some people did not want to listen to you. Okay, I'm getting that you could have only had one person that wanted to listen to you, one person that wanted to follow your lead, that wanted to follow your plan. You only had one person that felt the same feeling as you, that knew that there was something more. Okay, this could be for anyone. All right, this don't have to be for everyone. You guys, it could have just been you by yourself, but some of you, it was at least one other person that you were able to bring along with you, because this person actually can tell that they were in hell. They actually could tell that there was more to life. They actually could tell that you were being serious and you knew something. The other ones, they couldn't tell. They were too blinded. They were too blinded by all the people that they seen, not realizing that these people's souls were fucked just like theirs. Imagine being excited about a group of people, not realizing that these group of people are going to mirror you, which is not actually the best reflection, because you having a mirror of yourself and you don't have God in there, baby, is anything liable to come out of that mirror. So people were just distracted because they seen a lot of people. They seen their friends. They seen their family members. But if it's not the right people with the right souls, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's just the same demon in different bodies. Okay, now, I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. Bye.